All right, good morning, agents. My name is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here for Alta Realty Group. And today we're going to be going through a very important subject, which is proving your worth as a buyer's agent and really as an agent in general. But sometimes I get the question, and some newer agents are a little timid on how they can explain to their clients what they do. When you get put on the spot, sometimes it's a little bit daunting. So we just want to go through this exercise and make sure everybody is very comfortable with explaining what they do to their clients. And so we're going to go through literally 100 different things that buyers agents do for their clients. So before we get into today's presentation, we're going to bring Bill Seitz, corporate broker for Alta Realty Group, on the line. Good morning, Bill. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Alta. How are we?
We are well. We've got a few of our brand new agents on the line. So welcome, agents. Welcome, Claire Moser. Welcome, Alan Braden. Great to have you guys. And of course, all of our regulars as usual. So great day to have a Wednesday webinar.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day down here. It's nice after all that rain, and makes you want to get outside.
Not today for me, but maybe the weekend. Yes.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, we can stare at it from our computers, but
Yes.
yeah. Just wanted to start off with our Broker Tuesday tip for the week. I had a question, I believe it was Monday morning, from one of our agents, Alicia Mancada, who got into a scenario that we probably have all been in. I know I certainly have, and that is with the basically termination of the contract and the transfer of ownership, or possession, I should say, not ownership. But it's when the contract is written close of escrow +2, close of escrow +3, or maybe you're letting the seller stay in for a week and you go through the walkthrough and everything's great. It looks pretty nice and tidy. And then all of a sudden you go back to hand the keys off to your client. Seller has moved out, and all of a sudden it's a different it's a different scenario, right? And in her particular scenario, the property looked pretty clean, pretty good when they did the walkthrough. But when they went back to do the possession changeover, it had it fairly been dirtied up pretty well, and it appeared that the cats had been left in the house, probably urinating on the carpets. And at that point, if you don't have any mechanism of remedy for the problem, you're probably going to find yourself in a situation that you're not too happy with, and certainly your client's not going to be too happy. So the recommendation for that is, knowing this going in and knowing that sometimes people don't always do the right thing, is make sure you document that walkthrough ahead of the the possession or getting the keys over, and maybe making sure that you have some sort of remedy in place if in case there is insufficient, it's just not in a cleanly manner. So having those conversations with the listing agent ahead of time, having a plan of action, is super important. I know I sold a home one time out, I think it was out in Upland, and the sellers basically tried to like pack all of their stuff in like a 36-hour period, and they put a mound of trash out. It wasn't in the house, but it was outside on the street. And I got multiple calls, not only from the buyer but from the neighbors, just going like, what are we going to do about this? And so it's probably happened to most of us that have been in this business for a while. But the reminder is making sure you button that up. You have a plan. Whether it's a professional cleaning is going to be incorporated into the contract, or someone's going to take care of that, or making sure that the listing agent and you are on the same page as far as making sure it's delivered in a proper fashion. People living in homes, it does take a toll. I don't care. We all know you live in your house for more than a little while, it just gets dirty. But just having those plans are important because it could affect your relationship with your clients, and it also can reflect your ability to get a referral. So that is the tip for this week.
Yeah, well said. Very, very important stuff, Bill. So now we're going to bring on Amelia Hollow from Clearview Mortgage. Amelia's been with us for many years, and she is a top-notch loan officer. So, Bill, you want to introduce Amelia?
Yes. Well, we want to preface this with letting everyone know that Debbie Ciccone has left the company. She has made the decision to pursue her Arizona license, and she is going off to Arizona. She's not off yet, but she is really planning to ultimately probably move her business over there in the near year or so. So she's going to go and pursue her Arizona license, and both of her sons and her grandchildren live out there. They've all moved out from California. And so she's just like, hey, I just need to get my Arizona license, and I don't blame her. So, we love Debbie. She's been a great asset to this company for many, many years, and she's working on her next chapter in life. So we wish her nothing but the best. But in that, we have another star in the company, Amelia Hollow, and she is probably one of the quickest, fastest submission to close loan officers you'll find out there. And she knows this stuff backwards and forwards. So we're really, really lucky to have her as part of our team. And we want her to come on board and say hello to y'all. And also, she's got a couple tips, I think, today about a new program that she's come across that's really cool. So good morning, Amelia.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you Alta agents. Nice to be on here. Yeah, so a situation that I just came across recently that I thought I'd mention today because I feel like, all of these clients are super unique and their income isn't always super easy to make whatever it is that they're trying to buy doable for them. So for this particular client, she was looking to cash out equity of a totally free and clear condo, turn around and buy an investment property so that she could get some cash flow off the investment. However, she's a SAG actress in LA and her income is all over the place. So I was striking out on tax return analysis, striking out on 12-month business statement analysis, basically just coming up empty, unable to get her enough qualifying income for not a huge loan, about a $300,000 to $400,000 cash out loan. And one of the real benefits of our company, Clearview Mortgage, being a wholesale mortgage broker, is that we have the ability to find really unique solutions by reaching out to a ton of different lenders who we do business with. We're not limited to super specific products in that way. And so I randomly got an email from one of our lenders saying, here's our asset utilization program. And by the way, with ours, we underwrite in-house. So we're going to allow you to bring in other types of income to add on to whatever we come up with for the asset utilization. So that kind of set a light bulb off in my head because I knew that this client, although she's in her late 40s, early 50s, somewhere like that, she has an IRA with about $400,000 in it. So I thought, okay, she's trying to borrow less than that. We have to be able to do something here. And sure enough, between her tax return analysis and her depleted IRA, we had to take it at 70% of the value across 60 months because she's not of age to access it without a penalty yet. But there's plenty of money there and we're qualifying for the loan now. So she's going to be able to not only cash out of her primary, but also buy the investment property with a DSCR loan. So that property will qualify itself and she's super happy. So I didn't know that that existed. Every other lender I spoke to said you can use asset depletion, but you can't bring in other income, or we can use the other income, but we can't bring in the assets. So if you have clients out there who maybe have some money in the bank and have some cash flow issues when it comes to income, there is a solution out there to accomplish their goals potentially. So yeah, we're able to get pretty creative when it comes to problem solving for those types of clients.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge example of somebody going the extra mile. I just want to, the average loan officer is not going to go and dig and find that solution. So to have an asset depletion product that Amelia just mentioned is just such a huge tool for you guys. And I want to make sure that everyone can get Amelia's contact down in this webinar. I think Kevin just put it into the chat. We'll also put it into the replay, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it'll be on all of the webinar invites and replays going forward as well.
And not only do you get to utilize and utilize Amelia's services, but once again, you get your loyalty points. And so we want to make sure that everyone's taking advantage of the loyalty program. There's no reason why you shouldn't be lowering your fees or getting a deduction on your transactional costs when we're all here to help and have someone like Amelia who's willing to do the hard work when these unique situations come up. So really appreciate that, Amelia. I think we've got the Fed meeting coming out today. So I think next week we'll probably have a fresh rate update. And yeah, so thanks for coming on this morning, Amelia.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you, Amelia. Let's just take a real quick look at the 10-year Treasury bill, just because it's a good idea. So it's kind of been hovering for the last, the first part of the month, right?
Yeah, it's really kind of has not changed too much. I just actually was on a call with United Wholesale before we jumped on this morning. And Matt Ishbia, President CEO of United Wholesale, is actually not anticipating a rate cut or anything of that sort. So I think we're going to be kind of in that range. But the good news is at least it's come down about 50 basis points from the top a couple months ago. So it's at least trending down, even if it doesn't do anything for much. It's just going to see. We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't think it's going to be going up though, which is good.
That's good for us.
Yeah.
Good for us, good for our clients. So, uh, you know, historically, we're still in very reasonable rates. So, make sure you're educating your clients on that. So,
Well, for perspective, Kevin, just to that point, I just got licensed in I think 2001, and the rates were actually a tiny bit higher than they are now. I think they were in the low sevens. And so, for perspective, we're actually below that, and the historical average is actually about where we're at right now. So, that's context.
yeah, exactly. It's hard to explain that to a younger buyer that's never seen, kind of learned that, rates were threes and twos.
That's free money.
That was free money, and we knew it at the time too. So anyway. All right. Well, thanks for that, Bill. Appreciate it. So we're going to move swiftly into our feature presentation. And so, proving your worth as a buyer's agent is just so important. And, every once in a while, you just hear like, oh, realtors are overpaid, blah, blah, blah. Anybody that's on this call knows that that is far, far from the case. So it's just good to have, to go through this kind of stuff and to, have bullet points of what the heck we do. I mean, you guys all know what you do, but when you're talking to a buyer, you want to be able to, and it's not like there's very few situations where a buyer is like, really puts you on the spot, but in speaking with them and in your presentations, you want to be able to have the language and you want to be able to have, a lot of different points that you can make to make them understand that you are a true professional, your services are highly needed, and you are going to help them get through this process because, the average person is just not trained to do any of these things. So we're going to break this up into three different parts. There's the pre-listing activities, there's the offer negotiation, and then there's under contract and closing. So within the pre-listing activities, there are many, but let's just go through these. So we schedule the initial consultation to understand the seller's goals and timeline. We also conduct a comparative market analysis, a CMA, to determine the competitive listing price, right? Research recent sales of similar properties in the area. That's very similar to doing the comparative market analysis, all part of the same process. We analyze current market trends and adjust pricing strategy accordingly. And we're able to convey these things back to the buyer. And they don't have to do this stuff. They can rely on you. They can kind of double check your stuff, but these are things that typically a buyer is not going to be doing. They might be looking at stuff on Redfin or whatever they're going to do, but we also stage the property to showcase its best features, maximize appeal to buyers. We advise on decluttering and depersonalization to create a neutral space. We coordinate professional photography and potentially virtual tours with high quality visuals. So of course we're doing that. We all use, or most of us are using Preview First, very, very professional, very high quality, very consistent look. So, and they of course do the Zillow tours, Matterport tours, all those things that are very important. We draft a compelling property description, highlighting key features, benefits, and lifestyle factors. We prepare marketing materials, including flyers, brochures, social media posts, targeted online advertisements, review and finalize listing agreements, explain terms, agent compensation. Uh, we schedule open houses. We go to open houses as a buyer's agent. We market, we market the property through various online platforms. We had a very cool presentation last week with AdWorks, and that was amazing. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that, just go back to the replay, go back to the YouTube channel and check that out. Really important, and we have many agents that are already taking advantage of that, which is amazing. We network with other agents, right? That's a huge one. And using our ARG mobile app, you can now network with other agents within ARG. We conduct property showings. We are able to accompany buyers during showings and answer questions, highlight the property features. And before we go into those homes with our buyers, we're able to research them, and so we know what to look for. We provide feedback to the sellers after showings. We keep them informed of buyer interest. We obtain feedback from the buyers to understand their perspectives and adjust the marketing strategy if needed. All these things are fluid. We research and suggest comparable properties for buyers. We advise sellers on pros and cons of different pricing strategies, fixed price versus open bidding. We help sellers understand the role of disclosures required by law in different areas. Huge. The average layperson does not have a handle on any of those things. We coordinate staging consultations with professional stagers if needed. And of course, some of these are on the seller side, but advise on cost-effective repairs or upgrades that can significantly improve marketability. We help sellers understand the tax implication of selling a property. Massive. A lot of times the sellers won't understand what the tax liabilities are. We connect sellers with reputable lawyers and tax professionals. That's part of creating our business networking groups, and making sure that we have vetted lawyers and vetted tax professionals that we can have our clients take advantage of. We advise on potential closing costs that sellers may incur, of course. Explain the role of title companies in the title search process. We use one of the best in the whole world, which is Fidelity, and we use DJ Bib, or a lot of you do. We assist sellers in gathering pre-listing documents, property deeds, surveys, all of the things that are necessary. We help sellers on homeowners insurance considerations. We've got great homeowners insurance professionals that we can recommend. We connect sellers with reliable moving companies. Again, just having all of these little ancillary businesses that we can recommend. So our buyers and sellers don't have to go searching around for this stuff. This is super huge when we're able to provide that information to our clients. And then coming down a little bit further down, now we're going to get into the offer negotiation. So this is a massive thing with both buyers and sellers, but we review all offers with sellers and explain the strengths and weaknesses. We negotiate on behalf of the seller to achieve the best possible price and terms. We do counter offers strategically to prove the seller's position. We also advise on counter offer terms such as closing date, repairs, concessions, financing contingencies, all those things that are so complex. Without a Sherpa to guide your clients, they're going to be lost on this stuff. And so it's very, very important that you're able to communicate that, yes, these are the things that we do for you. We manage communications and expectations between buyers and sellers throughout the negotiations. You're the middleman. We explain the concept of highest and best offers, and we advise sellers on responding strategically. We help sellers understand financing contingencies and potential delays in the closing process. We negotiate on repairs requested by the buyer based on the inspection report and based on what's fair. We advise on inspection negotiations. We advocate for the seller's best interests while also maintaining a professional and ethical approach and making sure that the buyers are, not getting screwed. Keep the negotiation process moving forward efficiently. We help alleviate bottlenecks in negotiations. We help sellers understand the concept of escalation clauses and their implications. We advise sellers on when to walk away from negotiations if the terms are not favorable. We celebrate a successful offer acceptance with the seller, right? You get them all fired up. We're like cheerleaders in some respect. We review the purchase agreement thoroughly with the seller and explain each clause. We advise on potential counteroffers from other buyers if the initial offer has contingencies. We've all seen ridiculous contingencies. So we help sellers navigate the process of withdrawing acceptance if needed due to unforeseen circumstances. And we also liaise with the escrow officer, Raquel Bauer from Legacy, to ensure a smooth transaction into escrow. So those of you that have used our in-house escrow with Raquel Bauer, you know that she is an awesome person to work with. She's very, very easy to work with, and she's a really amazing professional. So having her in our corner is paramount to making sure that our clients get the best representation. We also coordinate with the buyer's agents on deadlines. We advise sellers on potential challenges with financing contingencies. We help sellers understand homeowners insurance. We advise on potential appraisal gaps, strategies to address them. We negotiate with the buyer's agent on behalf of the seller in the appraisal, or if the appraisal comes in lower than expected. We keep all parties informed, manage the expectations throughout the under contract phase. Now, when we're under contract and in the closing, a few things that we do is we coordinate with the buyer's agent to schedule inspections. We assist the sellers in gathering necessary documents for the closing. We liaise with the escrow officer, again, to ensure smooth the closing process. That's a double. We advise sellers on potential challenges with the appraisals, right? We suggest solutions on how we can overcome that. We help the sellers understand the timeline and the milestones leading up to the closing. We answer sellers' questions. We answer their concerns regarding the contract and the closing process. We coordinate any necessary repairs if we find anything in the inspections. We manage the communication with all parties, buyer, buyer's agent, escrow, title, all of those different things. We review closing documents with the seller and explain each section thoroughly. We advise on potential homeowner association move in, move out procedures, anything that's relevant there. We help sellers understand homeowners insurance policies and changes. We coordinate the transfer of utilities and services to the buyer. That's something that some people just don't think of, but it's definitely something that we help with. And we advise on prorating property taxes, homeowners insurance, and all the other closing costs. We attend the closing and ensure all paperwork is signed correctly on behalf of the seller. We help the sellers navigate the process of forwarding mail and updating relevant accounts. We connect sellers with moving companies. We assist sellers with the final walkthrough. We provide guidance on post-closing tasks, such as transferring warranties and registrations. We offer continued support, and we answer all the questions even after the closing. That's how we maintain that client fiduciary duty, and that's also how we stay in touch with our clients and make sure that we get referrals. So very important to maintain that that communication after the closing. We request feedback from the seller to improve future client experiences. And the way that we always kind of pose that is we ask the seller and the buyer for feedback feedback comes back into us as a review or a testimonial. We use those reviews and testimonials in our marketing. So a really good way to position that is we're requesting feedback. We utilize successful closing as a marketing tool. Just what I said. Boom. We stay updated on market trends and legal changes to provide the best service to our future clients. Again, when we do a great job with one client, we're utilizing that to get more clients and to do a good job for the next client. And the last one is we continually develop professional skills and knowledge to stay ahead of the curve in the real estate industry. That's why you all attend these weekly webinars. That's why you guys do continuing education and all of those different things. So these, and of course I will put this out in the replay, but these also can be utilized and should be utilized you don't have to put all of them in, but when you're creating your buyer's consultations, or if you're creating your home seller guides, or even if you're creating your client welcome kits, these are really good points to put in. And like I said, you don't have to put all of them in, but they are very, very good bullet points that you can put into your different sales documents to make sure that your clients know exactly what you'll be doing for them. So again, in our Canva account, we have a client welcome kit that I think everybody should have for both buyers and sellers. We have a buyer consultation marketing piece. We have different home sellers guides. This is one that Bonnie created in Canva. Really, really professional, very, very cool. You guys can have access to this document and change it to all of your personal stuff. But these are the different documents that we can utilize in order to make sure that our clients know our worth and what we'll be doing for them and why we deserve the compensation that we're receiving. So Bill, any quick takeaways from today's presentation?
Yeah, well, you think of 100 things that we we do, and you're like, are we gonna get to 100? Every single one of those things was important. You know what I mean? So it's pretty impressive, how much we do. And like you said, I don't think, maybe if you want to incorporate that into some of your presentations, maybe you don't have to list all 100, but maybe the ones that really resonate with you and how you serve your clients. You could, take maybe, 15 or so out of each category, or 20, and kind of consolidate it. But a big one was those last three about staying on top of what's the changes in the industry. I mean, we've gone through massive changes in the last 6 to 8 months, and we've been, we've had our pulse on that since day one. And if you've been on these trainings, you probably are pretty familiar with the BRBC now. You're probably pretty familiar with the new contract and that stuff. If you don't stay on top of it, you're going to get left behind, and you're not going to know what to do. And so these are all massive, important components to what we do day to day and representing our clients.
Yeah, and it's not even in certain situations, it's not even a bad idea if you really get a buyer or seller that's, hey, what the heck do you guys do? You could even send them this list and say, here's 100 things that we do, So depending on the client, depending on the situation, you can utilize these documents. Of course, I'll put this out in the replay. But yeah, do incorporate these into your buyer presentations and your seller presentations, and your client welcome kits. So real good stuff. Really appreciate you guys coming on to our Wednesday webinars each week. And anything else, Bill?
No, yeah, I just hope everyone has a great rest of their week. We'll have some more great content next week. I'm excited to see what the Fed does today, being a market nerd that I am. And, if you guys have any questions, we're always here to help, and hope you guys have a great end of the week and into the weekend.
Absolutely. With that said, everybody get out there, make it a great week and a productive week, and we will see you all next Wednesday on the webinar. Bye-bye.